Hello again, tier list enjoyers. I am back with another tier list, of course, because that is what people want. No, that's not actually why. I actually wanted to release this video as the last tier list got a bunch of views and reactions and conversations. I had some people message me in game about it, some people message me on Discord, and I thought, you know what, I should do my due diligence. I should return to this tier list and I should just update it. Now, this is a disclaimer. Disclaimer. Please view this disclaimer, haters. Please. This disclaimer is highly important. Please do not avoid this disclaimer. This is my own personal opinion of how Hyperion is right now. What follows after this is my opinions of your gameplay, the best gameplay experience in Hyperion right now. With very mid-legion, low mezzo, no mules, fresh accounts, that kind of thing. So, let's begin. Right at FP. Now, lots of people were rightly commenting on how FP is kind of going to struggle until you get a bunch of legion, and I think you're absolutely correct. I don't think FP is the best class right now in the game. In time, yes. Right now, no. You're going to struggle a little bit in mobbing. I don't think you're going to struggle a lot, but you're going to struggle a decent amount. This is not an SS tier class. It is definitely an S tier class. Next is Dawn Warrior. This class is great. No change. Nightwalker. Nightwalker is the most popular class in Hyperion as of right now. The class seems to be a little bit slower to get off the ground compared to some other ones, as bats aren't one-shotting. The mobbing's fine, though, and the bossing's amazing. This is an SS tier class. Now, Bishop. Bishop, compared to Nightwalker or Dawn Warrior. Okay, well, I actually do think it's better than Nightwalker. The main reason is Bishop is very heavily desired. Every single bossing party right now wants a Bishop in their party. So Bishop can get in kind of for free. Your damage can be a bit lower. Your infinity uptime isn't great. You're probably going to be a blue dot, but that's okay because everyone wants you, even if you're a blue dot. Battle Mage. I don't think there's anything changed about this class. It's great. The mobbing's amazing. Good class. Seems to be performing well. Not super popular, but good. It also provides some support, which means, you're a little bit more desirable. Hero's great. Absolutely no change here. This class is amazing. 2-minute classes seem to be much more in the meta. Shadower. This is probably my second biggest mistake of this tier list. This class is definitely SS tier. The damage is amazing. Their mobbing is hardly hurt at all by Mezzo Explosion not one-shotting, and they actually seem to be getting some of the best rates right now. All the top players are playing Shadower. All the homies love Shadower. Also, obviously, we know it gets better Mezzo rates than most classes, and it has a very good 6 job. I personally would probably put Shadower above Bishop for now, as the Mezzo is a little bit more valuable than the extra experience and drop that Bishop gets. Kane. I think Kane is completely fine. This class is great. Mobbing's a little bit annoying, but I think it's really good overall. Gonna stay here. Demon Slayer. Great class. Nothing else to say. Night Lord. I think I may have slightly overrated Night Lord, but I'm not really going to remove it out of S tier. I think this class is still very strong, and it fits into the meta perfectly. We all know that. Lara, I'm happy with its placement. I wish we had more Laras, but the class is amazing. It one-shots, or maybe not one-shots, but it can mob and Grandis very early on. Class doesn't really seem to be struggling at all. Adele, I am going to move down. I don't think Adele's amazing right now. It's good. It does require a bit more funding than some of the other classes to consistently one-shot with Cleave. Obviously, Hunting Decree one-shotting is a meme for a very long time, so I'm just going to move it down a bit. Buccaneer, great class. Lord of the Deep one-shotting is kind of tricky right now, but even without that, its mobbing is very good. I'm probably going to leave Buccaneer where it is. Mihail. I'm going to move Mihail down to the bottom of A tier, and actually, I'm going to move Mihail to the top of B. Mihail has had very low play. In fact, I think it is either the second or third least popular class in the game. Its mobbing is all right. Its damage, especially 6th damage, seems to be quite low. I am not... Actually, I shouldn't comment. I have seen no Mihails. I have had no conversations with Mihails except for one person telling me they do good damage, but I have no information with which to back that up. I'm going to move Mihail down to, I don't know. PF. PF is actually going to be moved up to S tier. Why is PF S tier? It's not a burst class. True. But PF is one of the lucky dogs that gets their mastery core to boost their mobbing, which means they can mob in Arcus as soon as they get there, or almost as soon as they get there. Pretty crazy, pretty high value. Marksman, top of A tier. Very good class, very high damage. Seems to require a bit of funding to one-shot because it needs to one-shot, but still a very strong class. Bowmaster, unfortunately going to be taking, well, somewhere in B. This will all get worked out later, but somewhere in B, the class just requires a bunch of damage to really train properly. It takes too long to get going, and with all the nodes and things like that we're getting in Hyperion, the cheap value of the Bowmaster just isn't really there. I think I was sold on the novelty of it requiring very few nodes, but that's more for a boss mule. As a main, I personally wouldn't really say Bowmaster is an excellent choice. In fact, would I put them in C? No, I think I would leave them in B for now. Aran. Okay, Aran's actually going to go into S tier. Aran's mobbing is pretty mid, honestly, but similar to PF, its mobbing gets boosted by Mastery Core. That is super amazing. Super, super amazing. We love Mastery Core boosting our mobbing. Because we can train so much faster, we just have to farm more Soul Urda to one-shot more, okay? Kana. Kana, F tier. What is it F tier? It's still a support. Nah, it's F tier. This class is terrible. The damage is really low. I've had so many people message me about this class. I think the class... I was under the impression that because of our node situation, Domain getting full value right at the start would be great, but honestly, even as a support, people just don't want Kanas. The class is just in an awful, awful, awful spot, and the way its origin skill works is really janky. It's just... It needed a lot of love from 6-Job, and I don't think it got it. Maybe I'll put it in... No, it's F tier. I'm sorry. It's F tier. Zero, I think, deserves to be here. Zero's an amazing class. Seems to be in a very good spot. Lumi, same thing. I think is in a good spot. Maybe you could move it up, but I think it's going to stay as it is. Xenon, definitely S tier. Xenon is undeniably S tier. This class is superb. In fact, I'm definitely going to put it above Nightlord. I'm going to put it above most of this. Obviously, everyone knows the same downside. Xenon, all stat, cubing for it. It sucks, okay? It sucks. We all know it sucks. But the mobbing is really high damage. Its burst is just disturbing, and you can mount it now. So you're not even going to miss your burst and laser. It's just that the class is in a very, very, very good spot, and you can't go wrong with this class at all right now. IL, I'm actually going to move down. I think Ice Lightning is good. It's decent, but it suffers from the same issue as Fire Poison, and it's just a worse class. If you're playing Explorer Mage, there's really no reason not to play Bishop or FP. Why would you play IL? I'm not exactly sure. The mobbing maybe is easier than FP. It's definitely not easier than Bishop. You're just kind of shooting yourself in the foot. And Demon Avenger is going to be our final S tier candidate. A lot of classes moving up into the S tier. A lot of classes are very good right now. DA has an amazing 6-Job. Their mobbing is pretty chill with much better rates than I actually thought they had. And they're just super strong. You really can't go wrong with this class. Just reorganize this a bit. Something like this. Evan. Straight to C tier, buddy. I am the highest level Evan in Hyperion server, and I can say without a shadow of a doubt, I would not recommend this class to people coming into the game. The class is quite weak in terms of mobbing damage and requires a lot more time, effort, and legion than many other classes do to begin farming maps properly. The fact that some maps require you to use breath return to kill is criminal and should be giga buffed. Unfortunately, it's just terrible. It's very hard to clear maps with return breath. Just, yeah, I wouldn't recommend Evan. Class is great in terms of bossing. Its damage is good. It has good support, but I would not recommend the class. Cadena. Cadena is definitely better than Ice Lightning. Is it an A tier class? Rates are decent. It is very high effort. Damage seems pretty good, but it's so hard to play consistently, especially with CD reset. I'm probably just going to leave Cadena at B tier. I think its gameplay is challenging enough that maybe I wouldn't recommend it as highly as other ones. Wind Archer, going to be A tier. Class is pretty good. Its mobbing is much better than I thought it was. Its rates are very chill. Maybe requires a bit more funding than other classes, but honestly, it's not that bad. I underrated this class heavily. Arc, S tier. Arc is S tier. Arc is definitely S tier. A 2-minute class, burst heavy, great 6th job, only seen buffs recently. This class is just superb. Is it S tier? You know what? A tier. I'm going to say A tier. Arc still has a few issues. The class is still very, very strong. The mobbing's great. It can require a bit more damage than maybe other classes. I think A tier is maybe a better spot for it. Ho Young. Same issues as Ho Young has had before. I think it just needs too much damage to train properly. Class is still great. Absolutely would still recommend it. Paladin, I think the placing is fine. Corsair, I think the placing is fine. Phantom. Okay, Merc. I'm going to put Merc in S tier. The reason I'm putting Merc in S tier is because IED is so valuable right now, and Merc's burst is so good. Its 6th job is whatever, who cares, but its burst is just so strong, and its IED buff is so good that Merc really was a giga underrated. I think this class absolutely was stronger than I thought it was, and there's a lot of really powerful Mercs out there. Shout out to Hexy. Phantom, great class, should be there. Blaster. I'm thinking about moving Blaster down. I'm going to leave Blaster as it is. I think its damage is fine while mobbing. It's a DPS class that has like a flat line as its damage, so there's no burst at all, but class is okay. Kinesis, I'm going to move up, probably behind Wind Archer. The class mobs with a 5th job skill. Can't complain about that. It's absolutely great. You can one-shot a lot easier. You know, the rank 1 player, Ryambi, is Kinesis. Obviously, the class is performing quite well. DB and Bowmaster as the bottom of our B tier, I think makes sense. Hayato. Kind of a tough decision. I'm going to tentatively put Hayato in S tier. I think I know enough about this class to say it's S tier currently. The main reason for this is it mobs with 5th job skills, similarly to Kinesis. However, unlike Kinesis, Hayato seems to be very good in bosses right now with their new 6th job and with all the changes to the class. Their mobility, once you get used to it, is very, very good. Their DPS is very good. Their burst is a lot better. Class just seems to be doing quite well. Still hard to play, but I think the fact that it mobs so well so early on allows Hayato to be very high up on this list. Dark Knight, I think the class still has the same issues as before. Same with CM, AB, Mech, Kaiser, and TB. I'm not really going to recommend any of these classes right now. And in fact, I'm sorry, Bowmaster. You're coming down to hell. Okay? Bowmaster C tier. I'm sorry, Bowmasters. You know what? No, I'm not. I'm not going to do that to you. F tier. Shade. I'm probably going to leave Shade here. I think this class is just way too weak. It doesn't really give enough. Yeah. Beast Tamer. We don't know what the 6th job is, so hard to say. I tentatively would put it into C tier, but since we have no information, I'm just going to leave it as F. Kinda sucks. Jet, you can't play. Now, let's go to our I don't know tier. The Blaze Wizard. Blaze Wizard, we're actually going to move up into A tier. I think Blaze Wizard is actually doing pretty good right now. Their DPS is pretty good. They mob quite well. They don't require too much funding. They require a decent amount to train, but not way too much. And as we see more of a 2-minute meta emerge, I actually think Blaze Wizard is pretty strong. Ilium is a C tier. This class is just a bit too weak right now. Feels like they've never really hashed out fully the identity of Ilium and what they want to do with the class. Is it a burst class? Not really. Is it a DPS class? Not really. What does it really do? I don't know. Stuff and things, I guess. It just seems to be weirdly designed. And Kali, I am going to put... I'll put Kali in B tier above Bowmaster. Let me zoom out a bit. I think B tier above Bowmaster is fine. Oh, do you know what? I'll just get rid of this bottom I don't know tier. I'm going to put Mihail low A tier. Okay. So this is the final tier list. I will not be releasing another update. This is the final list. If you have issues with this list, you know, my people, your people can talk to my people, and we will figure this out, okay? I have no intentions of making another tier list for a very long time, if ever. Thank you guys so much for watching, if you're still watching. And make sure to subscribe to the channel. That'd be super helpful as I plan on releasing some more videos in the future. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.